guys ready to hear about one of the most underappreciated suburbs of San Antonio? And actually, fun fact, it is actually really close to Austin too. Seguin, Texas is a place like no other. Stay tuned to find out the top 5 pros and cons of this great little town in South Texas. Howdy guys, this is Michael McCall, real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas, and the surrounding hill country and central Texas area. I am here to talk to you guys today about the great little town of Seguin, Texas. It's a personal favorite of mine. It is actually where I was born and raised. And stick around to the end because I'm going to mention to you a creepy little attraction that Seguin is actually pretty well known for. So stick around to the very end and you'll see that. Before we get into that, just a reminder, guys, I am here to help you guys with anything and everything that you need in regards to moving here to San Antonio, questions you have about San Antonio or any of these areas around here, New Braunfels, Bernie, Seguin, South Texas, any of those types of areas. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me. I'm here to help you guys find your next home here in San Antonio. So reach out. My information is right here. You can always contact me day or night, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, guys. Oh, and be sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. That way I can know exactly what you guys think about it, because I'm always making videos like this, and I'm trying to figure out some of the best videos that you guys want to hear about. So make sure you comment below, hit that little like button, hit that subscribe to get notified on these next videos I get. All right, back to it. So pro number 1 that Seguin is really known for is just being a historic, cool little small Texas town. It's only got about 25,000 people in it right now, but it's growing. Their downtown is a kind of a classic old Texas downtown. It's got the courthouse right in the middle of the square. It's got all the little shops and restaurants kind of surrounding it. It's got the big park right next to it that has a big fountain in the middle of it. They have the parades every year, the July 4th, the Christmas parade. They have trade days all the time. They have all kinds of different festivals and carnivals. There's a Guadalupe County Fair that goes on every year that's it's partially downtown, but mostly it's over at the fairgrounds, which is just a little ways down the road. And then they also got some cool little shops. That Gift and Gourmet is a great little shop. It's got a ton of stuff. We also got a bunch of cool little restaurants. My personal favorite is Burnt Bean Co. One of the best, I'm telling you, it is the best barbecue in the entire state of Texas, and that's making a big claim, but for me that's what I feel. I've had barbecue all over the state of Texas, and this is by far the best that I've ever had. It's only been open for a few months now, but it's already getting national acclaim, so that's something worth coming to Seguin for just by itself. Another great thing about Seguin being a small town is that it has pretty good traffic for the most part. You really don't have any big traffic jams, especially in Seguin. You can pretty much go all the way across town at the same time. There's no rush hour really at any point in time other than maybe by the school zones. But I want you to pay attention to con number 5 because very soon that could possibly change. Being a small town, you actually have a couple negatives with that. So con number 1 is that there are really no big shops and no big restaurants. There's a few little small Mexican restaurants. There's a Chili's, you got an IHOP, you got a couple other little ones kind of scattered around, but for the most part, you don't have any of the big shopping centers or restaurants that you see in a place like New Braunfels. It's just one of the things that Seguin is always getting knocked about, is that there's no Target, there's no Chick-fil-A. We barely just got a Starbucks not too long ago, so they were fighting for that for a while too, and they finally got one of those. So I think that will change in due time, but for now, you just got to drive up to New Braunfels or San Antonio to get your fix on your shopping. Pro number 2. So for those of you that know anything about Texas, you know that Texas high school football is huge. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that Seguin is this big powerhouse football program. They're not, but at the same time, we have some great facilities. So we have a brand new football stadium that just came in, and there's also a huge Jumbotron, which is one of the largest Jumbotrons in the state of Texas for a high school football stadium. They also have a brand new high school, just a few years old. So those are great amenities for those coming into Seguin ISD. Now, a con that comes with that, so your con number 2, is that Seguin ISD is not that highly rated. They are ranked a 72 out of 100, so C rating, and but at the same time, even though they're ranked fairly low, I graduated from there. I survived. I made it through. So take that for what it's worth. But just north of the main city of Seguin, just north of I-10, is, and still located in Seguin, is Navarro ISD. Navarro ISD is a much smaller school. Seguin has about 7,000 students, whereas Navarro ISD has about 1,900 students. Navarro ISD has got some fairly new facilities also within the last 10, 15 years, I believe. They are very highly ranked. They are ranked a 91 out of 100, so they have an A rating for the entire district. So keep that in mind whenever you're looking at locations to buy your next house here in Seguin. Pro number 3 is that Seguin has actually quite a bit of outdoor activities that you can participate in. With that, you got a big park. Starkey Park is a huge park in the middle of town. It's right on the Guadalupe River. You have the Little League fields right there. Seguin is big on the Little League. There's also basketball courts right there by the golf course. There's a little dog park right there. So that whole area is really nice, especially with being right there on the river. You can go sit on the bank and fish in a couple spots too. Great walking. There's huge pecan trees all over the place. There's also quite a few rivers and lakes that run through here. So the Guadalupe River runs from New Braunfels all the way down to Seguin. And along that way in New Braunfels, you have Lake Dunlap. And then as you get past Lake Dunlap, you get to Lake McQueeney, which is just a little ways north of Seguin. It's actually its own little town, but most of the people there kind of go back and forth between Seguin and New Braunfels. McQueeney Elementary is actually part of Seguin ISD, so right there in McQueeney. McQueeney has a bunch of really, really nice houses. It's got a lot of people that have second homes there that come here for the weekend and go wakeboarding and skiing. It's actually a private lake. There's no public boat dock. But at the same time, just south of there on the other side of the dam is Lake Placid. Lake Placid is public. There are houses, waterfront houses that line the entire thing. So if you're looking for waterfront houses, these are great options to look at. Just south of Lake Placid, you have Lake Seguin, which is essentially just a stretch of the Guadalupe River. And then below that, you have Meadow Lake. So Meadow Lake is another area that has public boat ramps, so you can get into it. You can go fishing, you can get the boat in the water and take the kids out, tubing, any of those types of things. So a lot of people in Seguin really enjoy getting on the river and enjoying their time, especially in the summer. So it's a big plus here. And before I forget, you also have Park West. Park West is something I completely forget about sometimes because it's brand new. It's a nice little park, kind of close to the interstate, but it's got a bunch of big fields I believe they use for soccer, huge playscape, and it's also got a really cool splash pad for the kids. Stop, hold on. Hey, real quick guys, sorry to interrupt the video. If you're getting anything at all about this video, comment what you think, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so that you're always notified about new videos that I'm doing about San Antonio and the suburbs around San Antonio. Sorry to interrupt the video, get back to it now. So con number 3 is that even though there's a decent amount of outdoor activities, Seguin is a small town and it does have very minimal entertainment options. There's no nightlife to speak of. So unless you're going to the parks, going on the river, there's really nothing much to do in Seguin. You've got to go to New Braunfels, San Antonio, Austin to kind of get to some of the more entertainment centered areas. Very rarely do we have any concerts. I mean, nothing really like that kind of Central Texas is known for. Growing up in Seguin, I could tell you that I went to New Braunfels and San Antonio quite a bit, which is why I know so much about these areas because it's so close and I would spend so much time in there. It's a lot of fun to go out and enjoy the other areas around here, but like I said, Seguin, not much for the big entertainment. Pro number 4 is that Seguin is actually very affordable, especially compared to New Braunfels and San Antonio, some of the more popular areas of San Antonio, and especially Austin. Seguin is extremely affordable. So over the last 6 months, there was 314 homes sold in Seguin. That includes new construction and pre-owned, whereas compared to New Braunfels, you're like well over 1,000 there. So Seguin is incredibly affordable. Fewer homes for sale at that, but when you look at the median sales price, Seguin is right about $250, whereas New Braunfels well over $300. The other big thing too is with Seguin, you can actually find some more affordable houses on some bigger lots and even some acreage for a lot more affordable. So just to kind of give you a rough idea, in Seguin, the median lot size of pre-owned homes, not considering those new construction homes where you can sit there and touch your neighbors from your house, the average or the median lot size is almost 0.3 acres, whereas in New Braunfels, you're at 0.2 acres. So it's almost 33% bigger on the median lot size between Seguin and New Braunfels, which is a big difference. Another big perk is that in the city limits of Seguin, your average tax rate is about 2.28, which is about normal for most areas. San Antonio in the big city is a lot bigger, a lot higher, and in certain areas of New Braunfels, certain neighborhoods, it's a little bit higher also. But when you get outside the city limits in Seguin, your property taxes are only 1.74, which is pretty low compared to some of the other places. Con number 4 is that even though Seguin is a little more affordable, that kind of means that and kind of correlates to having older houses. So up until recently, last 5 or so years, there really wasn't any new construction other than if you were to buy a lot or land and build a custom home. There was no new construction neighborhoods that you can buy in, but that's changed recently. One of the reasons that some of these houses are a little more affordable is because they're older, especially in the city. There's a lot of older houses. You can just look at the median age of the house over the last 6 months it sold was 20 years old in Seguin versus only 10 years old in New Braunfels. Big difference. Another thing that comes with that is that in Seguin, certain areas have the black dirt soil. So what that means is that you can potentially have foundation issues if you're not taking care of your foundation. So it's nothing to be afraid of, but do your research on taking care of the foundation, watering the foundation, doing those types of things to keep the soil from shifting and causing your foundation to slip and fall and do all those types of things. There's tons of ways to mediate it and take care of it. So it's nothing to be afraid of, but it's just something you can do your research on whenever you move in here. The last pro number 5, is that Seguin is in a really great location. By that I mean you're not going to just jump over across the highway and you're immediately in the middle of everything like San Antonio, but it's about 30 minutes away from almost everything you need. San Antonio, you just jump on Interstate 10, head west, and you get straight to San Antonio. Jump on 46, head north, and you're straight into New Braunfels. Jump on 123 bypass, head north, and you're into San Marcos. And then you can either go 123 to 35 to get to Austin, or you can take 10 just a little ways over and hit the toll road, 130, and that takes you straight into Austin also. There's a lot of people that live in Seguin and commute to work to all these areas. So it's a great spot for that. And with that, con number 5 is that Seguin is recently, within the last few years, really starting to get developed. So there are a lot of those big tract home builders that are coming in and building a lot of houses. Just in the last 6 months, there was almost 40% of the houses that have sold have been new construction houses in some of these neighborhoods. Builders like KB, DR Horton, Kindred Homes, MI Homes, or just to name a few, are some that are starting to build some really big neighborhoods here in town. They're really good quality homes, but still at affordable rates compared to some of the other areas like New Braunfels and San Antonio. For instance, with MI Homes, there was one, and look at your prices now because this video may come out and it may change, but at MI Homes, there was a house in New Braunfels that very similar floor plan and similar features and everything down in Seguin. It was almost a $60,000 difference just between those two locations. Pretty insane. So keep that in mind. Seguin is going to be growing a lot here in the very near future. I think that there's going to be a big population growth with all of these, and there's going to be a lot of changes in Seguin to come. Good changes, I hope. Only things that can make it better if everything goes as planned. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for new construction, affordable new construction, Seguin's a great place to look at because of that. Now, remember what I said about that creepy attraction that Seguin is pretty well known for? Well, boo. So Seguin is actually known for one of its most famous attractions, the haunted Magnolia Hotel. Sorry about that. So Magnolia Hotel is an old early 1800s hotel that kind of lost its thing, and it was vacant for a number of years, all the way up until about 15 or so years ago, early 2000s. And then it was bought up and restored to its original glory. Now you can actually rent a room there. But crazy thing is, it is legit haunted. I mean, there are videos out there constantly. There was a new one like a day ago from me recording this video. There are supposedly 13 spirits that have been identified in the Magnolia Hotel. I'm not saying that I'm a believer in that kind of stuff. I'm not necessarily saying I'm not, but I've never seen it and personally don't ever intend to see it. So you're interested in ghosts, interested in being haunted and sleeping with ghosts, I mean, you do your thing, go stay a night at Magnolia Hotel. I personally won't ever do it, but it's a cool little thing that Seguin is very well known for all around the world, really. Well, guys, that's it for the top 5 pros and cons of Seguin, Texas. I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of this. Hope you guys learned a little bit about Seguin, and if you have any questions whatsoever, by all means, reach out to me at any point in time. Again, if that's related to Seguin, San Antonio, New Braunfels, Bernie, anywhere in Central Texas, let me know. I can help you guys out, and I will help you guys out as much as I possibly can. My information will be right here, so you can always reach out to me at any point in time. Text me, call me, email me. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to this video. Let me know what you think about it. And until next time, guys, I will see you later.